This is a video response for Snedmeister. I've been listening to your last couple videos that were in response to others about potential alien life. And it's an interesting thought. I'll start off by saying that I agree with you. I don't think there are intelligent aliens that are visiting us. I don't even think they have ever visited or anything like that exists. What UFO sightings are, who knows? But I found very interesting your getting into the logistics of such space travel of such distances. That's something I think about quite a bit. And it's really interesting. And what I think about it, what I'm going to go over here is what I think the only way it would be plausible. Not possible in any way that we currently know. So we have to kind of use our imagination and stretch the laws of physics a little bit, which you kind of touched on with traveling at the speed of light. Basically, if intelligent alien life were to visit us from even somewhere within this galaxy, they would have to be traveling faster than the speed of light, which, as far as we know, anything with mass cannot travel at the speed of light because it takes an infinite amount of energy, as you said. And even if you could travel at the speed of light, it still wouldn't be fast enough to get anywhere in a meaningful amount of time because distances in space are so vast. The only way it would make any kind of sense is if this alien species found a way to fold space, like you said, wormholes or something like that, to where you could more or less instantly transport yourself from one point in space to another with virtually no time passing or very little time passing, regardless of distance. Lots of science fiction writers have come up with, little ideas of how that might be possible, but as far as we know, it's not really possible right now. That's the only way it would make any kind of sense. So, if you imagine that this alien species has this ability, how would it come that they visit Earth? Like you said, you can look at a planet from very, very far away, as we do with our technology, but you're seeing it millions or billions of years in the past. True, because it takes light that long to travel from planet to planet. But we can look many, many light years away and basically get an idea of what a planet might be like based on its distance from a star and things like that, where it might be, say, a habitable planet that maybe it could support life. We can already do that. Now, perhaps, if this alien species has the ability to fold space and time so that they can travel in great distances virtually instantly, well, maybe they have a better way of seeing over those long distances. But even if not, even if they can only see like we can see, oh, here's a planet orbiting within a habitable zone from its star, and it's a pretty stable orbit and all that. And we're looking at it from however many light years away. Well, you probably wouldn't send a manned crew to go check it out, especially if it took any kind of time to get there. You'd send a probe or a drone. If you can fold space and time to where you can send it within a reasonable amount of time, you could probably also send signals and messages through that same method. So the way I think about it is, if an alien life form or species is looking at us from 100,000 light years away, even if they're looking at us from that far away, they might say, hey, that planet isn't in a potentially habitable zone. Maybe that planet could have life on it someday, or it could have life on it now, being that we're looking at it from so far away. Maybe we send a probe or a drone through our little wormhole to check it out. Well, if they do that, and maybe when they were looking at it from 100,000 light years away, maybe humans didn't even exist at that point, so there were no radio signals or anything like that that they could pick up on. But if they send a probe or a drone and they visit us in the present, they could potentially see what our civilization has become and what life here has become. And even if that probe or drone cannot transmit messages back through the wormhole, maybe it comes, gathers data, and then goes back to the intelligent alien species, so they know that we exist. There's lots of bats flying around, squeaking, eating all the bugs. It's hot as hell here. I wonder if you could hear them. But yeah, maybe the probe or drone gathers some data, goes back, and they say, oh wow, looking at this planet, which would be Earth, through our super awesome technologically advanced telescope, we can see that it looks like this planet would be in a habitable zone. It has potential for life. And that's why we would send a probe or drone or something to check it out and see it in the present, as opposed to seeing it what it looked like 100,000 or a million or a billion years ago, whatever. Just my thoughts of how something like that might work. Interesting to think about. But yeah, you have to kind of suspend reality and the known laws of physics, because as you pointed out, the distances in space are so great. Even if you could travel at the speed of light, you're never going to get anywhere in time to see anything, which is mind-boggling when you think about it, how tiny we are in such a vast universe. Pretty interesting stuff. Anyway, it was good to hear from you. Very cool topic. I look forward to hearing more. Take it easy.